Dale Hallow Lake, a place great for fishing, camping, and playing on the water. Miles and miles of open water just waiting to be explored. Away from the rest of the crowded world, you can relax in pure nature. But just underneath the surface lies a dark history. A history filled with betrayal, sacrifice, and selfishness. From the late 1700s to the early 1900s, the town of Willow Grove was a very well-populated and successful town. It even had the largest school in the area. Unfortunately, all that effort would be destroyed in what seemed like an instant. To find out more, I met with author and historian Darren Shell. Darren has written multiple books about his time here and the history of Willow Grove.
Well, I know when it happened, and I know how the people felt, because I've interviewed several of them and talked with several of them, and it was quite a shock to them to come home and find a note on their doorstep that said, "You're moving, and your town's going to be flooded, and we're going to make a reservoir." I can only imagine what it would be like to sense that, because you don't just move a town. I mean, you're moving people, you're moving churches, schools, and cemeteries, and memories. I'm not sure if I would be particularly sad or particularly mad. I would probably be both.
The government destroyed farms, houses, businesses, and graves to build a dam, which seems ironic for a flooded town, but the flood wasn't natural. The government flooded it to create a lake.
This place was built just in case during World War II as a power supply in case our grids got knocked down electrically and we could have a place to make power to make the bombs in war.
Even with a reason, the people felt truly betrayed and disregarded by the people they looked up to, the people that were supposed to protect them. But where did it all start? Well, Willow Grove started as a settlement founded by 5 families, one of which was the Irons family. It is said to have been purchased from the Cherokee tribe that lived there. One of the Irons' children was Eddie Irons, who had troubles even after death.
Eddie Irons is probably the most famous of the Dale Hallow stories, and it starts back about 1800, over 200 years ago. His big story was that on his 18th birthday, he had enjoyed riding horses with the Cherokee Indians, because the Cherokee Indians were still here then. That was his enjoyment back then, was to ride horses with the Cherokee. And on his birthday, his family had purchased a horse for him that was not yet broken. And he decided that he was positively going to ride his horse on his birthday. And as his family watched, he jumped on, and the horse finally did take off, and it ran top speed into a large grove of walnut trees, and Eddie's head struck one of the low limbs, and it killed him instantly. And he was buried right out behind me, and he was actually dug up 2 or 3 times during the making of Willow Grove schools over the years. There was a number of schools that every time they got bigger, they would scrape off the soil and manage to find this walnut casket made out of the same tree that so innocently took Eddie's life. And they would just simply dig him a little deeper and bury him a little bit deeper each time. And the last time, when they were building the biggest school within many miles, they literally just put the casket right in the concrete and buried him for the 3rd and final time, they thought, until the Corps came along and they were demolishing buildings and moving graves, and poor Eddie was both. So they dynamited that big rock, but it didn't break. So Eddie's out there with us still to this day, beneath the waves.
Nowadays, Willow Grove and Dale Hallow Lake is known as a lively vacation spot for some, home to others, but as a hidden historical landmark to all who come here.
I feel like it's a big deal that people understand that it's not just a body of water that we can go play on. And in my sentimental views, I remembered the people that had to give up their home just so we had this wonderful body of water. So I think it's important that people realize that it's not just a place to play. There's many more things involved, and many families that to this day come back with tears in their eyes. That this was home. This was our church, this was our school, this was our farm, our homestead, this was our life. And we had little or no choice but to leave. And they did. So when I dangle my feet in the water, I think about those people.